Hello, I'm Conrad Bain. Tonight we're showing a special show on a very sensitive and important subject. We urge families, children and parents alike, to watch this informative episode and then discuss the problem presented, which is of deep concern to all of us. Thank you.
What's good, fam? And welcome to Just Drawz. This is a show hosted by two black gay men who are smart, sometimes funny, and not afraid to say the quiet parts out loud.
We talk life, love, sex, culture, mental health, politics, pop culture,
and everything in between. So whether you're here to laugh, learn, heal, or just feel seen,
you're in the right place. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Just Drawz, the space where real conversations live.
And performative nonsense does not. We keep it raw, vulnerable, and stripped down.
That's right, RVSD. I'm one of your hosts, Jeff, and you can find me at Jeff Levels Up on Instagram and Twitter, also known as X.
And I'm Darius, aka DMC, and you can find me at Close Minded on Instagram and DM Curitan on Twitter/X.
All right, so everybody, we are coming from Havenhurst today.
I have no idea what the hell that is.
Havenhurst is the former home of the Jackson family
in Gary, Indiana.
No. This is their Encino house.
No.
You clearly have not seen the movie.
The new Jackson movie?
Michael, yes.
No, I have not seen that. I have not. I'm probably gonna, the way me and movies work, I'll probably end up seeing the shit when it come out on video or streaming somewhere. Yeah. So
yeah, that's okay. That's okay. But yeah, we're coming from Havenhurst. We're actually in the living room, a nice little space to have the type of conversation that we're going to have today. So why don't you tell us what that conversation is?
All right, definitely. So let me take you back a little bit, viewers and listeners. During the 1980s, sitcoms annually kind of broke from their usual lighthearted formats to air what was called a, quote, very special episode or very special episodes. So that VSE, very special episode, tackled heavy real world issues such as drug abuse, child safety, assault, and even death. But often these episodes aired during like Sweeps Week. And Sweeps Week was the period where all of the awards, people who were on the awards committees were kind of looking at episodes to see if they were going to be nominated for Emmys or all of those different things. So these episodes also used relatable characters to educate viewers, which in turn would leave lasting impressions on all who engaged with it. So for this very special episode of Just Drawz, we're getting into something that does not always get talked about with honesty. And that's drug use in the LGBTQ community, and more specifically, how it shows up for Black gay men. So, of course, let me preface this. We're not here to judge or point fingers here. We're here to talk about understanding, accountability, and healing. And for a lot of people, what looks like, quote, a good time on the outside is really somebody trying to cope, somebody trying to belong, or trying to escape something they do not feel safe saying out loud. And today, we're not speaking about it. We're going to speak with someone who has lived it. So wherever you are, whether you are in a good place, a questioning place, or a struggling place, this episode is for you. So let's get into it. Our guest today is currently in recovery. He's doing the work and choosing himself every single day. And we want to honor that. So this conversation is not here to glorify anything, but it's here to tell the truth, to learn, and maybe help somebody listening realize that they are not alone. So everybody, welcome Brandon to the Just Drawz family.
Hey, how you doing today?
Welcome. Good.
Thank you for allowing me to come on your show today.
And thank you for accepting the invitation. More so than you coming is you accepting the invitation. We greatly appreciate that.
And being willing to share your experience.
Absolutely. We honor you in that. And we hope that this conversation will honor you as well. So y'all ready to get into it?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's get into it.
All right. So before we get into everything, first question is, who are you today? Like, how would you introduce yourself in this season, specifically in your life?
Well, right now in this season, I pretty much want to explain about basically telling I'm a loving person today
Okay.
in this season. I'm a helping hand. I'm a brother. I'm a friend. I believe in giving back service work right now that I'm trying to be able to give back spirit, strength, and hope.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not only that, move through my traumas and my past
Mm-hmm.
to
Okay.
be able to be open minded and play my whole take back to be better, try to be a better person. And that's where I'm at today.
Okay, awesome, awesome. And by the way, for our listeners and viewers, I meant to say this earlier, but Brandon has asked to not be on camera, and we want to honor, of course, his journey and the fact that he is on this journey. So he's not going to be on camera, but you get to see me and Jeff's smiling faces.
As much as we will smile or don't.
As much as we will smile tonight. So yes, definitely. All right. So, of course, with you being on this journey and you healing through things, what has sobriety given you that you didn't even realize that you were missing?
Well, what I will say for the most part, sobriety has given me the materials of the 12 traditions to go by. Not only that, have given me the acceptance and knowing that I don't have to use a mind altering chemical in my body
Mm-hmm.
to make me feel good, to be able to go out and have fun without the use of drugs.
Okay.
Okay. Could you? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go
I
ahead.
didn't know if you were finished with your thought.
You can go ahead.
Okay. I was going to ask you, could you tell us what those traditions are?
The 12 traditions,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much self acceptance, learning how to accept things that I can't change. Pretty much it's 12 traditions, and those I'm still learning. I will say, because like I said, I'm in early recovery, so I'm viewing things as I go. I can't identify and tell you all of them, but I can only tell you where I'm at in my recovery process of those
Okay.
traditions.
Thanks.
Okay.
I guess that'll be something we can maybe add to our show notes so that people can have something to reference.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. When you look back, what were you really searching for when you started using? Can you pinpoint that?
I want to say this. It wasn't much. It's a mixture of two different combinations. I was grieving for one, missing my grandmother. I was searching for love in the wrong places. I wanted to be wanted. I wanted to be loved. I was missing a father figure, so I was looking for father figures. I wanted to feel belong, not like separated. And through all of that, I was on a journey. So I was searching for a number of things. But the most important part was I didn't even know how to love myself. So I was looking for love all in the wrong places. I would say that's for the most part. I just wanted to be understood. So I was searching for some people or somebody that could understand me.
Okay. So with that and the grief, when you say that you were looking for, the things that you were looking for, were they kind of like the, I guess, emotional connection with men, or was it something sexual, or was it something else?
But it wasn't more, I don't want to say it was sexual. It was relationships that I was missing out on with family members. So it was like I was substituting one thing. You know how like a puzzle that you have to put together. So it's pretty much, I was trying to piece a puzzle together that was already unscrabbled. It was like I couldn't put the puzzle together, but I was searching for places
The pieces didn't fit.
Yeah, they did not fit.
Okay.
So when you come from a broken family, it's like you're trying to put people in places to fit that puzzle together to replace the pieces that were missing. So I was trying to do that without the reality of having in a relationship with somebody. But in a sense of a way, it is a relationship that you're trying to build, but it comes with sex. What comes with sex? That's what comes in a relationship. It's going to come. So I was putting pieces together. I was just like, okay, I really am missing out on my grandmother. She invested a lot into me, teaching me things. I was a sheltered child. So when you're a sheltered child, it's kind of hard when a person that you're connected to that do understand you leaves and passes away. And it's like you feel all alone. So then you have to reconnect, because when you're a child that is a loner, and it's hard for you to connect with other people, that one person that you're really connected to that do understand you, then it's hard to connect with other people. So then you go out and you try to search for things, search for people, all in the wrong places. And I just like totally had lost it, where I was trying to figure out a lot of things that were I was missing out on. And then I was trying to put the puzzle all together. I just have to just say that.
Okay.
So I guess then it wasn't you were looking for those things, trying to get love, it sounds like, in those relationships with those guys.
I'm sorry. Repeat that again.
So was it love that you were chasing after when you were trying to form these relationships with these guys? Because if it wasn't,
Yes,
like,
I did love these men that I was in relationships with. Yes, but I was also putting in things that I personally was missing out of my life, because you're going to build a relationship with somebody that you do meet.
Mhm.
But at the same time, these were like people that I needed to learn things from.
Okay. And what age did you lose your grandma?
I want to say I was 25.
Okay. Okay.
When she passed away.
And this was somebody that had been a real rock or
Yes.
foundation in your
She was
life.
a big
Okay.
foundation.
Mm-hmm.
I will say.
Well, definitely our condolences to your loss there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's move on a little bit. So what's something that people don't understand about drug addiction in the gay community?
Well, what I will say, what they don't understand is that a lot of times when you're using drugs in the gay communities, I'm gonna say this. One, it's a feeling disease. So a lot of times I don't think they realize, like, they just enjoy people. I'm gonna say I got to use me. When I was using drugs, I was using those drugs to numb feelings and pains and things that I was going through. I can't speak on what other people in the gay community use their substance drug for. But I know me personally, I was numbing things that I was feeling for pain, and I wanted to feel good, and I wanted to fit in.
Mm-hmm.
So I also want to say, because like I said, I want to use the I statement. When you come from a place where you're structured and you don't see drugs, well, I would say hard drugs, and you come to a city, you get curious. So it's like all in one. You want to fit in, you're numbing pain, you're wanting to enjoy yourself amongst other people. And a lot of time they don't know they're being peer pressured or out of curiosity. Not only that, it's a medical disorder. A lot of people don't know that sometimes they're depressed at times when they're doing these drugs. And
So they're just kind of seeing it as we're having a good time, and that's what it is. Or they explain it away by saying that, we're just having a good time.
Yeah, or either just sometimes it's just the norm of just saying. Also, a lot of people they want to have a drink because they had a long day. I gotta look at it, be open minded about it, because sometimes when you come from places where you just want to enjoy yourself, you want to relax. Some people drink to relax, but we go through issues every day at the same time. So you want to get your stress off or whatever tension it is, or you want to be in a company of people. You can't enjoy yourself, but it's a number of things why people have drink and use.
Because I guess a question I would have about that would be, so we mentioned, like hard drugs, and then we have
hmm
alcohol. It's pretty much,
hmm
is legal, and
The
in
marijuana.
some places you have, weed. And so I know that some people may be listening and being like, okay, well, I'm perfectly fine with getting my couple of cocktails, on the weekends, this, that, and the other, and moving
Shot
on with
o'clock.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how do you was your path something like, I've gone from alcohol, I'm not getting what I need out of the alcohol, so I want to move on to something harder, stronger
Um.
than that?
Did you gateway into it?
So
Yeah.
I grew up in an alcoholic family.
Okay.
My grandmother was an alcoholic, so alcohol was the norm. Marijuana was the norm, but I never was around the crucial hard drugs. I never grew up around them because my family members didn't do those drugs.
Mhm.
I'm gonna say this: my close relatives didn't do those types of drugs, so it was the norm for me to see marijuana and alcohol. But in reference to for me drinking alcohol, I in the beginning I did like drinking because it was just the norm from what what I've seen growing up was to have a drink. Mind you, I was mixing drinks at the age of 5.
Mm.
So,
Okay.
but my grandmother was an alcoholic. So, like I say, it was the norm. So, of course, yes, that was the first thing I started was drinking. I began to not like it because of the mood changes.
Mhm.
You go through moods in the process. You be happy, you can be depressed, you can be just overwhelmed. So I choose to stop drinking.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, I can relate to that. I know people who would be one personality
hmm
before they drank.
Mhm.
They'd be another personality once they got a couple of drinks in. They'd be kind of jovial and, hey, life for the party.
hmm
And then once they get to drinks 3 and beyond, they turn into a monster. And it's just wild to see that. And that affected me in the way where it took me a long time before I would even like drink alcohol, because I was like, if it makes me do this, I'm good. I don't need all that. I like to be in control.
Right.
But I will say, I also know people like my dad, when he drank, like he was the type of, I'm gonna get my drink in and then I'm going in the room, going to sleep. And that would be the end of it. But it wasn't like any type of switch, like it mellowed him out. And I know it affects different people differently, but seeing that firsthand is just wild. Like you just kind of be like, they'll come out of that monster stage, and then the next day it's all, oh, I'm sorry I did this, blah blah blah,
hmm
this, that, and another, and you have to
Mhm.
deal with that. And it can be a mess, man.
It can be a mess. And I will also can say it's like you just said, it could be in the environment that you're in. Like when
Mhm.
you are drinking, that environment, it all depends on the environment you in and when you're drinking, what how your personality will change. You are definitely correct about that. I agree with you.
Have you seen people that aren't necessarily in those specific environments, but still cling to drugs and alcohol just because?
Let me figure that question out.
So
Can you
yeah, that
recap
that
that?
that just kind of came up. So let me rephrase. So people, like you were just talking about, people being in the environment of
hmm
uh maybe going out, hanging out, stuff like that, and
hmm
they're in that environment and they do it because they're in that environment. But have you seen people who just aren't in that environment, might just be a random day, and just that they're so used to doing it that they don't know how to turn it off and on? Like Jeff just mentioned that his father would come home, have a drink, and then just go to bed and then be done with it. But like, I feel like there are people in our community who have gotten so accustomed to doing it in social environments or environments where there are other people, that even when they're not in those environments, that they still kind of overuse. Have you seen anything like that?
Yes. I have.
Okay.
I would say I was one of those people too.
Okay.
I would, that right there, yes, because so I came from a suburbish area. So coming to the
Mhm.
city, like I said, I got to play my tape back. I didn't do hard drugs when I came to the city. At first, when I when I first started going out to the clubs, I didn't do drugs. I drank. Well, I'm gonna say drugs. I did not do smoke marijuana, and I did not drink
Okay.
other substances that they had going out. I didn't do none of those. But when I started seeing people indulge in other substances, it was the peer pressure, the curiosity. When people keep coming in front of you with those things, they're saying, "Oh, try this," or "Smoke this," and I'm saying, "No, I don't want to do that."
Mhm.
But then in the back of your mind, it's like, I have things going on. You just want to numb the pain or numb whatever your feelings, and then it's just become a normal thing. You know, once you start it, once you activate it, it's hard to get
Mhm.
away from it
Mhm.
because, like they say in the Narcotics Anonymous, one is too many, 1,000 is never enough. So you're gonna keep
Mhm.
going until you can get the next one.
Yeah.
And then you get stuck in a position where this is what I gotta have every day. This is what I need to get every day to keep whatever feeling that I need. Because a lot of times people out there that are doing drugs, they like that high, but not knowing that you're slowly committing suicide to yourself.
Mhm. One of the reasons why I asked that is I have a family member that is dealing with that right now, that is going through that right now, and it's one of those things. I'm going to get into it a little bit later when we start talking about support systems. Definitely have some questions and stuff there, but I've always kind of wondered where that kind of stems from. It after a while, it can't just be that I like it. I like it. I like it. Like it feels like there's something else there. And when I ask him about it, it's not it's never anything that it never gets any deeper than I just enjoy it. And so I'm not really sure sometimes how to engage.
So with and I know you didn't ask me a question about
No,
you
but
didn't
go
ask
yeah,
me,
please add
but
anything you
how and I'm being open minded.
hmm
A lot of times we're not going to the natural person sometimes really not going to be open minded to tell what's really going on with them or what's wrong with them.
Okay.
One, it has to be a trust thing.
hmm
Two, some people really don't want to look at the reality part of the picture or what's going on with them. And so there will and I'm gonna say, and I have to say myself too, I didn't want to talk about things. I didn't want to, it was just like I just wanted to be numb. I just didn't want to
Okay.
feel. I didn't want to
hmm
see. I didn't want to. It was just like I was didn't. I wanted to talk to somebody about the grieving processes and things or whatever things that I was going through on a day to day basis. But it was like the way that I look at it like this. Sometimes some people care and some people don't.
Mm.
And so when you get that feeling, it's like, okay, I need to keep my mouth shut because where else, who can you talk to? Because sometimes it gets overbearing.
Mm. Okay. Jeff, you were going to say something. I
Uh,
thought.
yeah, I was just going to say, I've heard people say exactly what Brandon just said, is that they don't want to feel. And I've also heard people say that they are chasing that feeling that they got the first time that they used, and it never really gets to that point. And that's how people end up using more than they used the first time, because they think, oh, if I take more of this, it's still going to get me there. But they never kind of get to that initial feeling of the euphoria, if you will, from the first time. So yeah, that's pretty much all I was gonna say.
Okay. Yeah,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
Go ahead, Brandon.
No, I agree with that. I mean, it just all depends on the. They say that, and I believe that that is true. But I'm still open minded because sometimes if you do get a booster, depending on whatever it is. That's just like alcohol. You're gonna get the same buzz. You're drinking. You're feeling good. You're gonna be drunk, but then what's the effect after? Is either you're gonna pass out, you're
Throw
gonna
up.
throw up because you done drunk
Hmm.
too much. So it's
Hmm.
like you getting the feel, you having the same feeling, but then you're still upping the feeling is boosting up because then you're gonna smoke it. People smoke cigarettes. They smoking weed on top. You're boosting the
Crossfade.
high up. You get what you
Hmm.
understand?
Hmm.
So I try to be open minded and look at the reality part of that. But I get I understand it where you're coming from though, and I can identify with that.
Hmm.
Yeah, because I'll say for me, when I go out and if I choose to have a cocktail or make one at the house, I have my couple and then I'm good. I know people or I'd seen people who kind of, just like I said before, will get those 2, 3 cocktails in, and then between cocktail 2.5,
Hmm.
they turn into that person and they still continue to drink after that. And that's just alcohol. That's just not even anything that's hard. And so to me, it kind of feels like, okay, well, what's the point here? Because like you said, we already know that the end result is going to be you're going to either pass out or throw up because
Hmm.
you're literally poisoning yourself with alcohol. So, and once you kind of go beyond the point of where it becomes enjoyable or pleasurable, whatever your quantity for that is, then to me, I like, well, what's the point of really getting drunk? Because again, like I said before, I didn't really drink before. And then for my 30th birthday, I intentionally got drunk because I'd never known what that feeling was. And it wasn't all that great. It was
Yeah.
not. And I'm like, I
Hmm.
can't believe that there's people that,
That
this
are
is the
doing this.
goal.
Yeah, right. Every night that this is the goal that I have got to get to this point every night. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's yeah.
Yeah, that's something serious. I don't, I just know for me, I'm just not wired like that. And it's not,
Hmm.
a jab or anything to anyone else. I can't see it.
Yeah. Now I think right now for me, and I ain't gonna say I think I know for me, I was one of those people that had to have it. I had to, whether it was alcohol at the time in my past. But substance use, most definitely. I didn't go to work using it. Now that's one thing I've never done. I never went to
Mm,
work high, and I know that's because I can't function. I need to be able to function. You have people that do go to work, they
mhm,
can be high and can function. I think that's part of the mental part of aspect of how you can work. They say that you are function addicts, but I don't believe there are. It's no name for being a functional addict. That's just me personally.
That's I was
Personally,
getting
that's
ready to
just
say.
my
Yeah,
thought. I don't
is that
think
really a
there's
thing?
no thing. No, there's no such thing. I think you're just equipped to. You just want to get high. You just like to get high, and that's just better for you to cope with, be able to cope through. But I don't think it's just being functional. To be
mhm.
honest with you, and I don't want to just say that's the right word for it. To be honest
Hmm.
with
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I know some. mm, I had some alleged high school teachers that had something in their little coffee cups.
you.
Mm. Mm.
Hmm.
That was the rumor.
That was the allegations and the rumors. Yes.
Look at all these rumors running around. That's right.
So you up here teaching high school kids, and so you're I guess you could say like it's not necessarily functional because there's a little bit of dysfunction there, but you're basically
Hmm.
just kind of masking the fact that you're taking, or that these people were masking that they were allegedly using substances and this, that, and other, just while they're performing their jobs until they get caught. Because I know here, even the Atlanta area, I think last year, a supervisor, I'm sorry, maybe a superintendent or someone or a counselor may have gotten pulled over after leaving school and was for a DUI. So, people do it all the time.
My question is thinking about the spaces. We were talking about spaces earlier and how people tend to want to use or indulge in substances in certain spaces, a lot of times more social spaces. So when we think about gay spaces like clubs and parties, etc., like that, do you see that drug use or substance use is normalized within these areas? Like people are like, oh, that's just what we do.
That's an open-minded question. I will
Okay.
say that's very open-minded because you have some people. It's normal for them to see people in the club doing those drugs
Mm-hmm.
and going in certain spaces to do those drugs because other people are doing it. And I believe people would do it because they see that other people are doing it. But then you have some people that just say, no, I'm not going to do that. They have willpower and say, no, I'm not going to be in that space. I'm not going to do, you get what where I'm coming
Mm-hmm.
from.
Mm,
I'm
yeah.
not going to
Mm-hmm.
do that. And I just believe some people just don't have that willpower. I didn't have that willpower at first because I'm going to say for myself, like I said, I was numbing things. So it's normal. It is normal for to see those things, though. I will say that because I got off the topic. But yes, it is normal for to see those things. It's just
Okay.
willpower too, as well, comes with
Okay.
it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. Because I mean, since I socialize more on this level than Darius does, but I've gone to a couple of the more, how shall I say, white oriented clubs here in
Mhm.
Atlanta. And it's very casual as far as running up on someone that's doing drugs or maybe offering you some Molly or something like that, just because, or cocaine or something. It's very normalized in a circuit party or something like that.
Or a raid party.
Yeah, or rave or anything like of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
So if you
Mm-hmm.
go to certain clubs, it wouldn't be hard to find a person to get a hit from or see them doing it in the bathroom or smelling it because it does have a smell.
Mm-hmm.
Even I think it, again, this is more so just general population. When I was driving rideshare, I had people get into the back of my car and would just casually talk about the drugs that they took or in the bathroom at the club that I picked them up to take them home. So for some people, it's so normalized that they don't even really think about it on a Friday or a Saturday night.
I
You know,
agree with you on that.
Okay.
you know.
I agree
Okay.
with you on that. I definitely agree with you on that because a lot of people do glorify that. They
Hmm.
really
Mm-hmm.
do. But they don't think about the after effect of what it's going to do when you do it. Once you get in I'm one of those people, like, once you get step in them shoes and you see what it's like, you don't want to do it. You want to get out of it as fast as possible. And I'll say that for the younger. I want to speak towards the younger people, like, that's
Mm-hmm.
really young. Stop it now before you go out there and do it. You don't
Okay.
want to go out there and
Okay. PSA, everybody.
For the VSP, the very special
Yeah,
episode
the
that we're doing.
VSE, the VSE, PSA for the VSE. That's
yeah,
it.
you
Look at
don't
all
want to
these
do it.
acronyms. Yeah. Was there a specific moment or realization that made you say, you know what, I need to do something different? This is not working.
My way of doing it wasn't working. I'm gonna say that, and it's
Okay.
still to this day. Every day we go out here and we go. I would say for myself too, on a day-to-day basis. I have to make a conscious decision not to use. Um,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
what's different now for me? I use my coping mechanisms to keep me moving, to remind myself to keep going. Don't look back. Don't go back to what you were doing. Because I think about the things that I lost, the people that were around me, bad decisions and choices I made, um, things that I didn't gain from. I don't know, moments. That was a big part of the things that hit reality that made me not want to even go back. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that changed everything.
Okay. So are the coping mechanisms that you're talking about, or you were just talking about just the fact that you constantly tell yourself you don't want to go back, or are there other coping mechanisms that you use to help get you
Um,
through that?
there are other coping mechanisms. Like I'm a big spiritual person.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna also get back to like what NA has helped me out with too as well. And not
Mm-hmm.
only that, my upbringing. I come from a Christian background. Like I've always had a spiritual connection with my higher power, which was
Mm-hmm.
God.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I didn't forget 'em. I just didn't use them like I needed to
Mm-hmm.
use them.
Mm-hmm.
And with those coping mechanisms, listening to music, taking a walk, breathing fresh air, removing myself away from people that's using, just going places to venture out and outside of where people are using, seeing new things. Um, those help me out a whole lot. Doing talents. I got a lot of talent into things like hobbies that I used to do that I'm embracing now. Those help me out a lot too, as well. Because when you're in your substance use, or I'm gonna just say inactive addiction, let me just say that you don't use what you used to have. What you use. Like somebody told me yesterday. How can I say what she said? If you don't use what you got, then you'll never use it. And that's true. In your addiction stage, you don't use it. So now I have to use it to my full advantage now because I'm not in active addiction anymore. That's all I really have to say.
Okay. Okay.
Anything you want to say, Jeff? Or
I'm sorry, what was that?
you have any questions, anything?
Uh,
Lean into the
no,
mic
no.
just a little bit more, Brandon. Yeah, like so.
Okay.
Whenever
Is that
you're,
better?
yeah, there we go. That's it. Yeah, stay right where you are when you're talking because it's wavering in certain spots, and we don't want to lose anything that you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that bass kicked in there.
What'd you say?
Said that bass kicked in there.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm
that's what I'm
sorry.
saying.
Look, this is my first time on a mic.
Let's
No, it's okay.
yeah. Yeah, let's get it. Yeah, it's when you're on it, you're on it. You're clear. So we just want to make sure we don't lose any of that good wisdom you've given us.
I'm learning wisdom.
Yeah. Well, listen.
Learning wisdom.
We're all learning wisdom. We're definitely
Experience is wisdom in
is the
itself.
best teacher. Yeah, exactly. And it's within itself. Who helped you take your first steps toward sobriety or inactive recovery? Inactive addiction.
Myself.
Okay.
And let me ask this question. Are you asking like who made the decision for me to get into recovery or getting I got confused on the question.
Well, was there anyone that helped you take that first step and go, you know what? Yeah, this
Or an
is
event or
I
something.
need to go into this direction. Yeah, was it someone or was it
catalyst.
something? Yeah, the catalyst. Yeah.
I'm gonna say, okay, the first person was me, but and there is a but. I had a friend in a relationship. It was like, yeah, you really do need to get some help because in my addiction, I was getting out of control. So I do thank my friend, and this is my best friend, tell me, yeah, you need to get some help. That was another step right there. And that was because some days I wouldn't come home. Some days I did come home. And then going through my drug use, it was like I said, I wanted to get high. Nothing was never enough. So yeah, I needed to get out. I needed to get myself some help. And those actually, and then my mother, those three people actually helped benefit me getting into recovery.
Okay. That's good. So I guess I may have assumed something when you first started talking about your grandmother. So when your mom was involved with this recovery process,
hmm
was she ever estranged before, or is it just so happened that you were just closer to your grandma?
I'm closer to my mother now than ever. My grandmother was there always. My mother just was, I'm gonna just say she was there. She was always there, but she was just on the background side where my grandmother was pretty much, she was the person that took care of me.
Okay.
You know, but my mother, she had my sister and brothers. My sister and brother, excuse me. So she had other responsibilities too, but she was always there. So
Okay.
I'm not gonna just like shut her out because she was there. I'm gonna just say that. But for the most part, my grandmother raised me.
Okay. Now I have another question. So when you, or after you decided to take that first step towards
Mhm.
sobriety, because this is something that I know people don't really get or understand, could you elaborate on what your experience with going through the withdrawal process was?
Like cutting off drugs or just,
Yeah.
or
Once,
did I have withdrawal experiance
yeah,
with the
did you
drug?
have any withdrawal
No,
experience
I
before?
didn't.
Okay.
I didn't
Okay.
have none of those.
Okay. That's good. Because I've heard and read that it can be very painful.
You have, it depend on the substance that the
Okay.
person is using. I didn't have withdrawals where I was sick or vomiting and body aching, things like that. Like I would probably be tired, but I don't think that's so much of the withdrawal system that, I guess, let me just take that
That you
back.
hear
That
about.
probably could be a
Yeah.
withdrawal system, but I mean that's just from up all day, up and out every day. But other than that, like as far as like the chronic side, no, I didn't.
Okay. And I think that kind of goes back to what we mentioned or were talking about earlier about chemicals affect different people differently. So, okay. So, what's something that people assume about being sober that isn't true?
That's a good question, but I can't answer that one, to be honest with you. Like I'm still in early recovery and I'm still learning some things about
Okay.
that because there's a lot with that one.
How do you handle triggers?
I'm using my coping mechanisms, moving away from what I know I don't need to, and reminding myself that if I go and use, my life depends on it. So
Yeah.
I don't think about it. I don't want to go around it. I change the people that I do that use. I don't hang around them anymore. And then if I do, I time myself I time myself because I have to keep myself and remind myself, oh, you can do it, but I can't. So I leave.
Yeah, I'm a believer in once you start changing your lifestyle, there are certain things and certain people that you don't need to be around anymore. And that's perfectly okay. Perfectly okay.
It's called my middle name, boundaries.
That's true.
Boundaries, separating yourself from the situation, quote unquote, protecting your peace, all of that. Because sometimes if you're on a lifestyle journey or a change, or I'll even say like, just to kind of take a pop culture look at things, like some of these rappers and people that got famous and then want to bring up all their little cousins and T-Bug and blah, 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 TT, Nene and all them.
Junebug, TT, Poo
Leave,
Poo. Yeah, all of that
leave
stuff.
them where them folks at, invite them over for a cookout or barbecue and send them right on their way. Once the 12 o'clock hit,
Once the
send them
potato
an Uber
salad is
home.
gone, I'll see y'all
Yes.
later.
You ain't
Because you
got to
know they
be
about
trying
to
to
cut up.
fund their little crazy business idea, because
Okay.
what's $10,000 gonna do? You ain't never had business before, so what this money gonna do? No, I'm good. You come visit.
We ain't
That's about
got
it.
no more macaroni and cheese. All right, it's time for y'all to
Nope.
roll out. Yeah.
I'm gonna get y'all.
You talked
I
a
don't,
little bit about. I'm sorry. What were you
go
gonna
ahead.
say?
Nothing. Go ahead.
I was gonna say you talked a little bit about relationships, like people that you have to kind of cut off and not be around in order to maintain your peace and your sobriety. But how has your sobriety approached other relationships, not only friendships, but maybe like dating as well?
I would say right now, giving sobriety helped change a lot in that
Okay.
approaching my relationship and dating, how to respect people more, how
Hmm.
to get to know a person, given them. Did I say boundaries?
You can say
No,
boundaries.
respecting.
Yeah.
Yeah, respecting
Yeah.
their boundaries. Just learning the person for the most part. That actually helped me out, and allowing them to get to know me. It works. It helped me out a whole lot. I'm gonna just say that a lot, and I'm still learning as today. I'm still learning. Um, because building in relationships with people, and I don't want to just say rapport. That's what I want to say.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Building
right
rapport.
now, I don't want to just say relationship because that's an intimate thing for me. Like just
Okay.
building a relationship with somebody, just wanting to be in a relationship. I don't want to just put that on that type of relationship. I just want to put it as building rapport with people as well.
Okay.
Right now, like, well, I will say, like, I'm still working on that, approaching people. Um, a lot of my past has like traumatized me
Hmm.
building relationships and rapports with people with trauma. So I have to take the good and the bad and take it with a grain of salt at times. I gotta learn I'm learning as I go. Who to talk to, who not to talk to, when my anxiety hits the roof, what's going to trigger me about a person, being vulnerable. And I don't want to be vulnerable to a lot of people. So I have to like learn if you're for me or if you're not for me. And so then once I know that they are for me, then I know how to approach people and in the process of dating anyway. So
Hmm.
that's the space that I'm in right now.
Okay.
Okay. So how are you building platonic friendships and relationships that way, or just connections, I guess then?
You're asking me how?
Yeah, like is that do you have a different approach with that than you have with dating, or are you I mean I know you don't have to like disclose to everyone that hey, I used to use drugs as another if you're just meeting them and it's something like platonic.
You
But
know, to
is
be
there
honest with you, I do be open and honest about it.
okay.
About me used to use drugs and alcohol. That way I know that they will respect me. If they know that I don't do those drugs and I don't drink, they'll ask me or they won't do it in front of me. As far as drinking. Now drugs, I don't see none of that. None of that doesn't go around me,
Okay.
you know. And I have to be honest, just recently, because my family members smoke marijuana. Mm. They've done it in front of me, and I'm just like I said, I'm in early recovery,
Mm,
so I had to stop smoking marijuana. And I'm not a marijuana smoker, but I was doing it to fit in. I had to stop, and now that I've stopped, it was only just to try to build a relationship with them to get closer, to connect. Now I feel like, okay, I don't have to do those things to connect with you anymore. I can just be my authentic self and just have fun with you.
Hmm.
And now with building rapport with people now, it's easy for me now, but in my mindset is where the way that I connect with people, I pick and choose where I got to see where you're going. And if I see you're going in the right direction, then I can hang with you. I can connect with you. We can communicate. Like they say, I'm not going to pour in what you can't pour back into me. And that's just have to look at
Hmm.
it like that.
mm,
You know, if I know you going out here drinking and drugging, I know you're going to spend your money on drugs. I can't connect with you. I can't get nowhere. We can't get nowhere because you're constantly going to go out here and you're going to buy drugs. You're going to get high every day.
Hmm.
You're not going to progress and you're not going to elevate. You're not going to get nowhere.
mhm.
I don't know. I gotta differentiate between the chronic drug, the addiction, and I gotta differentiate it from alcohol addiction because with that, it's a money difference as far as spending. So I have to look at it's like I have to look at it open minded with a lot of it. You know what I'm saying? And learning to accept certain things that I can't change with people, and how to build a rapport with people. If I can help you, pull you in, and I can't make you drink the water, but I'm trying to pull you in. If I see that you're going to pull in, then I can help you and build a connection with you. But if you're already in the mindset of you're not getting in a place where you're trying to do something, or it's I'm losing myself right now on that one, but
No, but
I'm
we're getting
trying
the
to,
gist of what you're saying. Yeah, we're getting
yeah,
the gist
I'm
of what you're saying.
trying. It's almost like I do want to connect with people, but I allow my past to define where I am at this point sometimes.
Okay.
So that's why I say, like, I'm in class now. We're talking about stages of changes and maintenance and things like that. Like, I can't say where I'm at right now, because after every day I walk out the door, I gotta think about what's gonna happen, what I'm gonna put myself in. Am I gonna put myself in? I gotta remind myself that I can't do those things. So trying to build relationship with people or build rapport with people sometimes is a give and take situation with that.
Very true. Very true. What would you say to somebody who knows they might have a problem, but they just aren't ready to admit it yet?
I don't know. You know what I'm gonna say? Pray. That's
Okay.
what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Pray
Okay.
and find somebody to talk to.
Okay.
I believe prayer work. But if you ask God to send you somebody that'll help you, and that will believe in you, that you want to change and get clean, he gonna send somebody. But it's on you. You gotta think about you. You gotta think about what can happen, and what problems you're going through.
Okay.
Okay.
And as far as, like, you're not ready to admit it, you gotta keep it up front. Like, you got to admit it. You got to, before it's too soon. Something happens.
Yeah.
Gotta have
Because I
some
need to clip that part.
self-acknowledgement.
Yeah,
Go
right.
ahead.
I need to clip that part and send it to the family member that I was just talking about. Because I'm like, yeah, that's what seems to be the issue, is that everybody around him knows that there's a problem, but he kind of he won't admit it. He won't admit it until something major happens, and then he will admit that, okay, yeah, maybe there's a problem here. But then it's like there's a gestation period where he'll admit it for a little while, and he's living in that space or heading in that space of recovery, and then he goes right back to where he was, and then it's like this cycle. It's very cyclical, and sometimes it's just like, okay. And I've even said to him, it's like, listen, I love you, and I want you to stop taking L's. So but I don't know what else to do. I don't know how else to support you in that. And the fear, I think, of support that we kind of have sometimes, especially within the Black community, is the way that we support those people who we know need help is we just tell them, you need to go get help. But then it's hard sometimes to figure out where else to go outside of that, because you have to be, if once you've put yourself out there to say, hey, let's get you some help, versus you need to get some help. The let's get you some help now ropes you into that process. It ropes you into the recovery. And then you have to be supportive, and that support may come in the form of you being emotionally taxed, or socially taxed, or physically taxed, or financially taxed. And I think that's what kind of scares a lot of people within the community, within the African American community, and maybe even the LGBTQ community, that it's like, I know what to tell you, but I'm not going to get involved. I'm hands off.
You know what? I can agree on that too, because sometimes when you're in a space where you feel as though help is not always help, some people get to a state of mind. I'm gonna say for me too. I gotta identify me. I gotta say me. I feel sometimes help ain't always good help, you
Okay.
know, and that's only from situations I've been in, so it could be for the next person, with a question mark. Are you helping me for a good reason or are you gonna help me for a bad reason? What is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
advantage of it? What do you you get where I'm coming from? Like you gotta outweigh the good and the bad. And it's like, okay, are you doing it for a good reason or are you doing it for a bad reason? And that's where I stand at. I have to stand on what I believe. If I see you really trying to help me out with no expectations and or either if you're a family member, you're not trying to, because you got some family members that pull you in and
Pull you down.
yeah, and
Yes.
pull you
Okay.
down.
That's right. Crabs in a barrel.
And sometimes it might take for somewhere to be broken to be rebuild yourself. I got to be open minded about that too, because a lot of times it could be good help, but you got to. A lot of times we take ourselves and we take our own will and we go out and we search for some help, and then when we got it's like you got to touch the hot stove before it get hot. You get what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So you don't know unless you try.
hmm
So that's another thing too, also for your family member too, because I got to take my own suggestion as well. Like you don't know unless you try it. You got to reach out and ask, admit those things, admit what you need help for. And I do that from time to time, but sometimes I pull back because I pull back if I don't feel like I'm comfortable to come to you and say, look, I need some help, but I would support and say, yeah, just reach out. I will say that.
Okay.
So, and speaking about help, so what has been ways or have been ways that people have helped you towards your recovery that you've been receptive to?
Just allow me to just them loving me for who I am,
Okay.
helping me when I need help, talking to me when I need to talk, um, guiding me in the directions that I need to. Um, I've had some good influencers in my life and mentors that I honestly can say, not only that, and a pastor that actually is like they say things and they're there when I need them to talk to. And I ain't gonna say when I need them, when I want them to, you know. And a lot of times without my permission, they're there.
I like how you said that.
Yeah, they're there without my permission. They're there a lot of times. And sometimes it just come out of nowhere. They're there. And that's what that's what I value. I value that a lot. The texts, the calls. Oh, you crossed my mind. You're on my mind. I'm wondering how you doing. Those
Just
little
thinking
things.
about
It's
you.
the little things. And I'm not. And it doesn't even have to be financial. It's just the thought. Oh, I crossed your mind. You checking on me. I appreciate it. Those are little things that put a smile on my face and keep me striving and stay clean because they know that I'm gonna do good. Long as you know that I'm doing good and they see that I'm doing good, they're gonna be right there. And
And
that's what I appreciate.
yeah, and I just want to just a little sidebar here. So, anyone that's watching and listening to this right now, you need to do that to your friends, just in general, just hey, I ain't talked to you in a minute, just checking
Yeah.
in, just doing those little temperature checks, and just to see how someone may be doing. Because sometimes people can go for a while without texting, and there's not any says doesn't mean that there's any drama. Just kind of mean like, hey, I've just been juggling a lot. I hadn't realized I hadn't talked to you in a minute, or
Yeah, yeah.
even sent a text to you. Just
Mhm.
doing that check-in, just it can go a long way in establishing like a connection with someone that you haven't talked to in a while, and that while could be a week, because it's easy, or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, because it's easy to go from I didn't realize I haven't talked to you since last month, and we're recording this at the last day of this month,
Right.
and it's a wide span. So I just want to put that
Yeah.
out there, just for people in general. Just people don't have to be going through things. It just could be like had a work thing happen or this, that, and other. Just check up on your friends every now and then.
That is
And
absolutely true.
can I add something to that too as well, if you don't mind, Joe?
Sure.
Like, I like texting, but just hearing a person verbally means a lot. I would suggest that as well in reference to checking up on them. Like, hear their voice out.
You have to be
And you
careful
can,
with that sometimes because people swear out, "Oh my God, don't call me unless you text me first. I don't like sitting on the phone."
sometimes you're not gonna get you may not get the response when you answer that
Yeah.
phone, when they answer
Yeah.
that phone, But sometimes you just might have to call again and
Yeah,
text
that's
at the
right.
same time. You got to do both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm open-minded with that because sometimes communicating through text, some things do get misunderstood because a lot of
Yeah.
people can
No,
think as
definitely.
though it could be drama or it's give and take with both. I'm gonna just say that, but sometimes you have to keep a positive, open mind about when you're checking on them, and that's what I do. I want to make sure that who I talk to are in a good mind space or what they go through, because on a day-to-day basis, we're human. We go through things. We need to talk.
If you call me and don't leave a voicemail or at least don't send a text, I'll probably call you back.
Right.
They probably.
But I just kind of feel like if I've reached out to someone, let me put it in my situation. If I call you and you don't pick up, I'm probably going to just send you a text to follow up because you could be driving the car, this and another, and I'll let you know, at least say, hey, this is what I reached out to you for, and kind of leave it at that. Now, after that point, after I throw that in the air or give that to you, do with that what you will. The ball is in your court at that point. I'm not about to sweat anybody, but you've known that I've called and I did a follow-up text after the calling. So you ain't have to listen to your voicemail or anything. Jeff called me. He sent a text why he called, and it's on you after that point.
Very good. Very good. Yep. Brandon, as we start to wrap up a little bit, what are you most proud of yourself for right now?
Staying clean now.
All right.
Staying clean.
Amen.
Respecting myself more. And then also right now, like, I'm in school. So it's like I'm proud of myself right now about going back into school, getting closer to my spirit, more and more closer to my spiritual higher power. The people that I connect with, I'm proud of just being able to reach out, and doing things that I didn't expect to do. That's it right now, I can say.
Okay. Awesome. Listen, that's awesome.
Again, like I said, that's enough.
It is. Okay.
That
is more than enough. Okay. Absolutely.
So if you could tell your past self anything right now, what would that be?
You shouldn't have started drugs when you did it. I wish I could have stopped you. That's what I would have told my past self. Just replay your tape back. That's all. Just replay everything back, and you don't have to do it. That's all I can just say right now. Like, if I just want to keep in my head that I don't have to do those things. That's all.
Okay. Perfect. You have anything else, Jeff?
No, I think I'm good on the questions that I haven't thought of. So,
Okay. Okay then. All right. Well, first off, we want to say thank you to Brandon, I guess. Thank you for pulling up and being open, being honest, and letting us a little bit into your journey. That takes strength, not just to go through it, but to talk about it out loud. And we respect that. So if for any of our viewers and listeners, if you're listening or watching this and something kind of resonated with you, don't ignore it. Whether it made you reflect, maybe it made you question something, or recognize yourself in parts of the story, all of it matters. Okay. So just being clear, let's be clear here. Recovery is not weakness. Setting boundaries is not boring. Choosing yourself is not missing out. That is truly owning your power. And if you know somebody who might need to hear this episode, don't keep it to yourself. Just, send it to them, especially when it airs. All right. not in a messy way, but in a quote, I care about you kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
And as always, we're going to continue to have conversations. We'll continue to keep our conversations real, as unfiltered as we can, but we always want to keep them rooted in growth.
All right. Well, that sounds like it's a wrap for this episode of Just Drawz. We hope you felt the love, laughed a little bit, and maybe learned something new tonight.
Yes, and as I just kind of mentioned earlier, the conversation does not stop here. We want you to come into our DMs individually or our Just Drawz DMs. Come in, talk to us. Talk about maybe some things that you're going through with family members or yourself. You know, we're here to support you. We don't want you to feel like you are alone in this. We are a community, and we want to make sure that you feel and value this community.
All right. Until then, just be bold, just be beautiful, and most importantly, rewind that tape back.
Yeah, right. That's right. We will catch y'all next time.
Peace.
Before we go, if you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, please know that help is available and recovery is possible. Reach out to the SAMHSA National Helpline at 1-800-662-HELP. That's 1-800-662-4357. It's free, confidential, and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You don't have to face this alone, because one conversation can change your life. Make sure you subscribe and share the show, because the algorithm only listens when you all make noise.
Follow us on social media, tap in with the community, and keep the conversation going.
We look forward to seeing you and
hearing from you. Peace.